Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series with me, your host, Guile. And I want to start by saying a huge apology to all of you. It must have been like, what, 3 or 4 months or something since my last cast. I'm very sorry, but I do have a good excuse. The long and the short of it is, for those of you that don't know, my computer exploded. And when I say exploded, I mean, literally exploded. It was the power surge to end all power surges. Took a couple of kettle leads with it, took out a power supply, bunch of other stuff messed up in the stack. So I've been steadily rebuilding. I've had a lot of other stuff on too, but I'm back now. I'm up for casting some more games, and I want to say another apology as well. I've had loads of you sending me replays while I've been away. I got a chance to look at a few of them on my laptop. Obviously, I couldn't cast it on that. It wasn't going to look right, and I didn't want to do something that was kind of substandard. So I was just going to wait until I was up and running. The problem is now, of course, we've moved into Season 1 on FAF. Not generally considered a problem. The client's looking amazing, but obviously another update, and most of those replays are currently unwatchable for me. So I do apologize if you were hoping to see those put up. Please don't let it stop you from sending me more replays. I'm always on the lookout for it. And also, don't think that I'm just doing ladder matches. I have done a few average Joes already, in case you guys hadn't seen them. So I will consider matches from anyone's, so keep them coming in. But anyway, as I say, I am back now, and I thought we'd kick things off with a little ladder 1v1 between Tidaz and Carl. These two guys, obviously, I think I've seen or previewed Carl a bunch of times on these casts, at least 2 or 3 times. Tidaz, I'm not sure if I've done. I mean, I've seen him play before, and believe me, he is no fool at this game. This guy knows what he's doing, so this should be a good one. The map is, of course, the one and only Fields of Isis. And it's going to be a mirror matchup. So Tidaz obviously down here in the blue corner, UEF, and in the red corner, Carl up here, also UEF. Tidaz taking the early initiative. In fact, Carl looks like he's a little bit further ahead. They're probably going to get to the middle around the same time with their ACU. But Tidaz has sent a engineer down here, and that's going to be completely uncontested. Interesting, he's going for these wrecks first. Should always focus on these ones. Obviously, you've got a Titan here and 2 Harbies here. Serious chunks of mass. Couldn't tell you off the top of my head what you're looking at there, but that's what you want to grab first of all, in case any of you are new to this game. That will get you the most bang for your buck, so to speak. That will get you the most return of mass for the shortest amount of time. And also, obviously, generally, your opponent's always going to send something to the middle to grab this mass, so you want to be doing it as well. And there's always going to be a fight over these 3 wrecks, so you can see him moving in now. And this is going to give Tidaz a nice early advantage. He's completely uncontested down here. Meanwhile, of course, comms coming on each other about the same time. That sounded completely wrong, you know what I'm saying? Bumping into each other at the same time. They're going to fire a couple of shots at each other and try and nick these wrecks. One of the drawbacks to this map is, of course, because it's such close proximity and because there's this impetus to rush to the middle. A lot of games finish early. Not a big fan of that. I think when you get to this kind of level as well, it's kind of the mid-range level with people knowing what they're supposed to be doing the early aggressive play, but overcommitting and not knowing when they're beaten and when they need to retreat. Whereas you get to this kind of level, the timing on these guys, it's a lot more attuned. They know when they've had enough, when they're not going to win an engagement, so generally they withdraw before any real damage is done. That engineer finally going down from Tidaz to a couple of strikers and a land scout. So for the moment, Carl has secured this bottom section, but I'm sure that will change before long. This is probably going to be quite a back and forth match if I know these guys at all. Carl, though, still winning on score. It's quite interesting. Despite Tidaz getting that early section, I've looked at the economy, seeing what doing. So Carl is bang out of power. It's not unusual when you have a map with so much mass on it. Power is probably going to be the issue. You can see he's queued up millions of T1 power gens. In fact, both of them have. It's about the only way to get things done when you've got this much mass. You've just got to go, send a couple of NGs off everywhere to grab the mass points and then build power, because you're going to need it. And if you don't do it, your enemy will, and then you're screwed because he's going to build. He's going to tech up faster and build more stuff quicker. So we've got a few strikers coming in now from Tidaz. Of course, he hasn't got very good vision on those T1 units, whereas Carl has those inties overhead now. So Carl has a lot better view of the field. He knows what's coming. So for the moment, the scouting award definitely goes to Carl. But more units on the field now for Tidaz. It looks like he is going to be taking over control of this bottom aperture. That's another, I don't know what's wrong with these double entendres I'm doing today. Right, Tidaz looks like he's doing an upgrade. I imagine that's probably a T2 upgrade. Hazard a guess. Could be the shoulder drone. The shoulder drone upgrade's lovely, incidentally, on this map. It's actually really good to do for an early start, especially in a one-on-one situation, because you can get that shoulder drone up there, and so you can send your ACU up here, shoulder drone down here to nick all the mass, and then start building stuff. So, of course, it takes a little bit of time to upgrade, but I mean, it's one of the shortest upgrades in terms of duration, and it's very inexpensive. So, yeah, definitely one to look out for if you get the timings right. Little run-by happening from Tidaz now as he marches into the bottom of Carl's base. Straight past an upgrading extractor. He's not going to focus on it, though, because he is in pursuit. He's going to take out a radar station, an engineer, and press on further south. I don't think he's going to do any more damage now, because Carl looks like he has a handle on the situation. He has got a few more units at the front of the base. Carl has just finished an upgrade. That's probably going to be a T2 upgrade as well. Instantly starts building a triad. The speed that is going up, so that is going to secure the front of his base, so there shouldn't be any more run-bys from these small bands of T1 units being pumped out by Tidaz. And yeah, that's going to be the end of that little push. So he's going to have to withdraw. Tidaz on another upgrade, so maybe that wasn't a T2. Interesting. Probably a upgraded cannon on the arm or something like that, just in case. And obviously, it's really hard at this stage in the game to gauge what your opponent's doing. So he might have thought he was going to get into some kind of protracted battle. Okay, so that's that looks like it's the gun upgrade. So you just don't know if you're going to be getting into some kind of protracted fight with your enemy's ACU. So Tidaz is just being wary. Probably also using it as a defensive tool, worried about excess T1 spam coming up here. But Tidaz now looking like he's got pretty significant map control actually at this point. It's denied any possibility of Carl coming forward and taking these forward mass points. But then, of course, you know, in a 1v1, it's just not so much of a big deal. T2 now up and running for Carl. Basically, the reason for that is if you've got 2-on-2, it's two sets of economies. You've got to get up on these base, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, whatever it is, 8 mass points that you get in here to start. So getting a whole economy up on just those 8's a lot more tricky than, you know, obviously if you have that one. So it's a lot more forgiving in a 1v1 situation, and losing the map control isn't so much of a big deal as it is in a team game, which is why the team games tend to end a little quicker, I guess, more often than not, because people are so aggressively trying to get the mass and then hold these choke points. Now Tidaz getting completely run over now. Superior numbers of strikers and logos coming out from Carl. That is going to be the end of that little forward expeditionary force. But Tidaz now getting a little fire base up here. See, yeah, a couple of triads going down and an air cleaner, so he means to hold on to this area. While Carl now pushing forward again with his units, make some kind of inroads. Question is, does he know what Tidaz has got there? Yes, he's got some land scouts and obviously a few inties, so he would have known. So instead, he's going to do a quick run by, which is nice, I guess. Wants to see if he can inflict more damage. If he just runs headlong into this, it's probably going to be a bit of a stalemate and not going to achieve much. Does he know about these factories? Yes, he does, obviously, because he's had so many inties out on the field. So just out of range of these pillars, very nice pillars impacting on the side of the hill, but Lobo's getting the job done on that particular one. They're focusing fire with the Lobos on the factories. No, not look like they were. Now they are, and that factory may just go down. Titans on the field for Tidaz coming to the rescue. Wow, that is a very early T3 factory. Well done, Mr. Tidaz. And that could really, really change things around. Obviously, we've got one T2 factory here from Carl. He's already been pumping out pillars. I don't think he's got any more that I can see for now. So, I mean, it literally is a T2 upgrade on his Commander and the T2 factory. So, that could be quite interesting, the fact that Titans on the field. Incidentally, if you are new to this game and wondering why he's gone for Titans and not Percivals, the Titans are what you build. If you get an early factory up and you're facing torrents of lower order units, T1, T2, the Titans are what you build, because look at the rate of fire and how quickly they move. They don't have the punching power that the Percival has. They're not as heavily armoured. They have these shields, which are really nice, but not quite so heavily armoured as the Percival. So if you're going up against other T3 units and experimentals, you build Percivals, and they're so good. They're, in my opinion, they're the best land T3 unit. But these guys just cut through swathes of lower order units. Look at them go. Oh, hero one. Shield down. Oh, lovely bit of micro there by Tidaz, managing to rescue it. Carl sensing blood, wanting to try and take out as many of them as possible, realizing that it's going to be a problem. But 3 more coming into the fray now. Tidaz really focusing on pumping out these Titans. A little bit of an exchange of Lobo fire. And Tidaz also doing a very nice job up here of securing this this little choke point. I mean, he's got lots and lots of triads in there. He's got the plasma cannons for little T1 anti sort of spam. So that's looking very nice. You gotta like the commanding position Tidaz is in at this point, and yet Carl is still winning on score. I know score doesn't mean a lot, but that's probably eco. So Carl is on 172 mass. Tidaz is on 99. So Carl is trashing Tidaz on eco. I mean, he's got the T3 mexes. Or 2 T3 mexes up here, T2, all T2. But eco is all well and good until you get run over by superior forces. But I'm not going to count Carl out, because I've seen what he can do when he's under pressure. Lots of triads going up. And he is now on T3 as well. So he has mobile arties up there. Obviously the plan is going to be to lay some fire down on this base. And that's generally what you want to do. You're facing a guy up here who's got a base up and running. He's got lots of triads. I mean, the question is, does Carl know what's in it? Yes, he does. So he's obviously done lots of flybys. He knows what's in there. So he's going to try and do some kind of artillery bombardment. Here we go. Artillery deploying. He's going to need a few more than that, though, to do any significant damage. If I were Tidaz, of course, Tidaz doesn't have anything in the way of air right now. So I mean, yes, he's got decent radar coverage, so that's something. He's obviously got a T2 up here. Yeah, there it is. So he's got a T2 radar, so you can see all of this. But if I were Tidaz, I'd be trying to deny this, because if he lets this build up, this is going to become a problem. I would be trying to skirt in and out with triads, trying to pick off these mobile artillery launchers. Tidaz obviously then probably working on a T3 upgrade, probably wants to get some bigger shields up, some Ravagers. That's another way of dealing with it, but there's no telling how long it's going to take to get the shield up and running, and how long he's got, I should say, with the rate at which Carl is pumping out these mobile artillery. You see, they are very vulnerable. I mean, he could quite happily get a few Titans up round here, and at least, I mean, even if he doesn't kill them, it forces them to retreat and it lets these shields recharge. Question is he focusing on something else back here? I can see. Working on T3 air. So he's going to try and out-tech him in the air as well now, Tidaz. So, which I like, I guess, but then at the same time, it's quite an expensive, expensive route to go, especially on power. Just getting a fusion up now. So yeah, that is, you know, on the cards. T3 air factory finishes. Shields now dropping for Tidaz up at this forward fire base. It doesn't look like he's paying any attention to it. He really needs to get more shields up there ASAP. Air cleaner's going to work, taking out the scouting interceptor. Oh, these artillery pieces are being very unlucky with their landing times, but that is just the way it goes with artillery. Tidaz now starting work on a T3 shield gen, and that should repel or be the end of this attack. Now, large swathes of T1 Carl just looking to either probe the base, see what he's got on it now. He's softened it up a bit with artillery. The trouble is there's a lot of PD and down at this base. I don't think that's going to get very far. He's hoping maybe just to pop the shields and get a couple of lucky artillery shells in there to take out a few of the gens, but of course this T3 goes online at exactly the right time. Isn't that the way? Ravagers now though for Carl, and any hope Tidaz have of a little strike of popping in and taking these out without taking major casualties has gone away. Probably do with thinking about some kind of TAC missile launch attack. It's probably the route I would go down at this point, but he hasn't got a lot of time, and he's also going to be piling these on. And now Carl has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Percivals on the field, and they will make a absolute mess of any Titans. And also he doesn't have a lot of Titans now, but whoa, okay, lovely little Titan drop. Is that Titans? Yeah, Titan drop coming down at the bottom of Carl's base, and this should hurt, actually. He hasn't got a lot in the way of defenses down here. He's going to have to pull these Percivals off the line. There they go. Started building a Fat Boy as well, but I'm not sure if that's going to get finished or not. Titan's just absolutely devastating. So 1 mass point down, 2 mass points down, 3 mass points down. Certainly paying for themselves at the moment. Percival's incoming. Gonna get a 4th mass point. Yeah, there it goes. Now, I hope Tidaz doesn't switch to the Percivals, because he's not going to have fare very well. He just has to... No, you don't want to be doing that. Yeah, okay, so he's staying on the mass points. Will he get it? Will he get it? Will he get it? Oh, 50 HP. That has to annoy him. Meanwhile, this space still under fire. You can see it's lost a few shield gens. Tidaz trying to get some replenishment shield gens built. Lots of Titans on the field. A couple of Percys now for Tidaz as well, but it needs to be careful. I mean, Percival's now realigning up to this. These shields are going to be weak, and of course Tidaz not going to fare too well against Percivals. Looking rather vulnerable. He has started work on a Fat Boy of his own. Questionable call. He should really be getting Ravagers up. Certainly a few Ravagers at the front would deal with all of this. And this could be trouble. All of Tidaz's forces are down here. The question is, does he know what's coming towards him? No, he doesn't. That could be T1 for all he knows, until he sees it eat a whole bunch of Triad shots and not die. Oh, get out of there, dude. Overcharge, overcharge, overcharge. And that is the end of that firebase. Don't stop, for God's sake. Is he moving his troops up? Yes, he is, but they're going to go the wrong way. And there's no way he's getting away from that. And he goes down. Well played, Carl. Looked like he was under pressure early on in the game, but came back. One or two mistakes from Tidaz. Definitely should have chucked in a couple of Ravagers at the top there. I mean, 2 or 3 Ravagers. If he secures that area, you know, that's just not going to happen. But nevertheless, nicely played. Well done on both sides. Lovely little drop down here from Tidaz. Definitely hampered Carl a little. In a longer game, that could have proved crucial, especially since, you know, it's still open. He could have done that again and again and again. But never mind, Tidaz. Well played, mate. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. There will be more to follow in the coming days, so stay tuned. But for now, this is me signing off.